Canterbury Tales ରେ ଯେଭଳି Paradise Lost John Milton. Milton epic about fall of man. ଉପନ୍ୟାସ epic. Fall of man ମଣିଷର ପତନ. Paradise ହଜିଯାଇଥିବା ଲେଖକ. Paradise Lost. ସ୍ୱର୍ଗ. Shakespeare Hamlet. 54. Shakespeare first folio publish 1623. University Wits group includes University Wits Wit group ଅନ୍ତର୍ଭୁକ୍ତ ମାର୍ଲୋ ଲିଲି କିଡିନ୍ ଗ୍ରୀନ୍ Shakespeare sonnet. University Wits group includes Marlowe, author of Dr. Faustus, Christopher Marlowe. Faustus, author of Fairy Queen, Edmund Spenser. Fairy Queen, Edmund Spenser. Author of Dr. Faustus, Spenserian. Stanza has how many lines? 9 lines. Author of Fairy Queen, Edmund Spenser. Da Faustus. Fairy Queen, Edmund Spenser. Spenserian stanza. କେତେ ଧାଡ଼ି 9 ରେଖା. New classical romantic age. First, British literature 64 to Renaissance. 64 to Renaissance. New classical romantic age. New classical. Nova classical. Father of the English criticism John Dryden. Ramalachana. Author of Essay on Man. ମଣିଷ ଉପରେ essay. Man ଉପରେ essay. Alexander Robb. Pope The Rape of Locke. Locke ର ବଳାତ୍କାର. Rape of Locke. Mock epic. Author of a preface to Shakespeare. Shakespeareଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରବନ୍ଧର ଲେଖକ. Preface to Shakespeare. Preface to Shakespeare. Author preface. ପ୍ରବନ୍ଧ. Father of English criticism John. Author of Essay on Man Alexander Pope. Pope The Rape of Locke. Author preface Shakespeare ଅଛି ପ୍ରବନ୍ଧ. Preface. John's Dictionary published 1755. Arts. Which Wordsworth Coleridge. Father of Romanticism. Coleridge Kubla Khan. Coleridge. Fragment. Shelley Elegy for Kids. Kids का पाए Shelley का elegy. Adonance. Kid का पाए Shelley. Author of Lyrical Ballads. Lyrical Ballads लेखक Wordsworth. Shelley. Kids Word on Greek art. Greek कला ऊपर Kids. Word on Grecian. वो Greek on. Stream of a technique used by the Wolf Joyce. Author of Mrs. Dalloway, Virginia Woolf. Author of Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad. Author of The Wasteland, T.S. Eliot. Author of The Mayor Castellaris, Thomas Hardy. Annual Concert of Culture. Author of The Mayor Castellaris, Thomas Hardy. Annual Concert of Culture, the best that has been thought and said. author of Dover Beach, Matthew Arnold, Tennyson, Elegy for Harlem, In Memoriam, author of In Memoriam, Alfred Tennyson, author of Memoriam, ଲେଖକ ଟେନିସନ୍, ଏଲଜି ହାର୍ଲାମ୍, ଡୋଭର ବିଚ୍, ମ୍ୟାଥ୍ୟୁ ଆର୍ନଲ୍ଡ, ଡୋଭର ବିଚ୍ ଲେଖକ ବେଷ୍ଟ has been thought and said, Arnold concept, author of the mayor of the cast pitch, Thomas Hardy, author of the Westland, T.S. Eliot, T.S. Eliot, Castbridge ହେଉଛି ଥୋମାସ୍, ଦ ମେୟର ଅଫ୍ କାଷ୍ଟବ୍ରିଜ୍, ଅର୍ଥାତ ୱେଷ୍ଟଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ହେଉଛି T.S. Eliot, ଥୋମାସ୍ ହାର୍ଡି, ମେୟର ଅଫ୍ କାଷ୍ଟବ୍ରିଜ୍, ଆର୍ନଲ୍ଡ କନସେପ୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ କଲଚର, the best that has been thought and said, Arnold concept, stream of consciousness technique used by Wolf Joyce, stream of consciousness technique, author of Mrs. Dalloway, Virginia Woolf, author of Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad, Eliot concept of adjective correlative, formula for emotion of art, formula for emotion, author of the Westland, Eliot concept of adjective correlative, formula for emotion in art, author of Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness, author of Mrs. Dalloway, Virginia Woolf, stream of consciousness technique used by Wolf Joyce, Dalloway, Wolf, Indian writing in English, Indian English poetry, Henry Derejo, author of the Gitanjali, Rabindranath Tagore, এটা ফার্স্ট ছিল କ'ଣ ଭିକ୍ଟୋରିଆନ୍, ଅଥର ମେମୋରିୟମ୍, ଭିକ୍ଟୋରିଆନ୍ ହେଉଛି ଆଲଫ୍ରେଡ୍ ଟେନିସନ୍, ବିଂଶ ଶତାବ୍ଦୀର, ଏଇଟା ବିଂଶ ଶତାବ୍ଦୀ, ନିଓ କ୍ଲାସିକାଲ୍ ରୋମାଣ୍ଟିକ୍ ଏଜ୍, ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ହେଉଛି ବ୍ରିଟିଶ ଲିଟରେଚର୍ ଚୌସର, ନିଓ କ୍ଲାସିକାଲ୍ ଭିକ୍ଟୋରିଆନ୍ ଏଜ୍, ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ରାଇଟିଂ ଇନ୍ ଇଂଲିଶ, ହେନରି ଡେରୋଜିଓ, ଅଥର ଅଫ୍ ଗୀତାଞ୍ଜଳି, Small Things Arundhati, Roy Nobel's Own Booker, 1997, Roy Nobel Own Booker, author of Midnight Children, Salman Rushdie, Adiga